Amusement ride gone wrong.
Nothing in the world could replace that young man.
The painful cries from the father of the 14-year-old boy who fell to his death on an Orlando ride last night, and the lingering questions about how it happened. The Orlando freefall ride at Icon Park remains closed as investigators try to figure out how this all happened. Good evening, I'm Vanessa Eccles.
And I'm Martha Sigalski. This is just a horrific story. That ride officially opened just a few months ago. This is video of the scene from today. You can see those inspectors assessing the seat, which is believed to be the seat that 14-year-old boy was in. Also tonight, we do have live team coverage on this tragedy. Channel 9 investigative reporter Christopher Heath is digging into how often this ride gets inspected and looking at those inspection reports. But we begin tonight with Channel 9 Shannon Butler, who's been working all day to find out just how this happened. Shannon, the Orange County Sheriff says this appears to be just a tragic accident.
Well, he does, and witnesses that were here last night told me they watched the ride go up and it didn't seem like anything was wrong. They said it went up to the top, it came back down, came to that stop like it always does. That's when they say that the 14-year-old came underneath one of those blue harnesses and fell to the ground. Dispatchers tried to get people to give him CPR, but those callers to 911 said it was too late. Gary Winthrop was at Icon Park last night watching the free fall ride.
The ride goes up and it goes up and we're kind of watching it. Next thing you know, it starts coming down. We're like, oh, and everybody's screaming, normal, ride type of thing.
But he never thought he would see what happened next.
It comes down, I guess it halted on the brakes, because, it comes kind of closer and then he slides right out.
14-year-old Tyre Sampson was on the ride around 11 o'clock last night when he fell to his death. People called 911 trying to help him.
The thing went down the drop, and when they got closer to the bottom, when it hit the brakes, the guy fell right out of the seat and bam, straight through the chair.
The sheriff's office said that he was here from Missouri with another family on vacation. Today, investigators were out measuring the seat he was riding in as they worked to try to figure out what went wrong. Today, the sheriff's office says early findings show that this was just a tragic accident, but it is still unclear how and why Sampson was thrown from the ride. The sheriff said that workers that were interviewed did not see anything wrong before the ride went up, and you can hear the workers after the fall saying that those checks were done.
You guys are sure you checked it?
Yeah.
Now, right now, you can see this ride is shut down as investigators continue to try to figure out what went wrong here. It is unclear when this ride will reopen. As for the family, they say he was here on spring break. He is a fierce football player, they said, and a good student. They are devastated by what's happened here. We are live in Orlando. Shannon Butler, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And new this hour, we are hearing from that heartbroken father of the 14-year-old killed. He says when he heard what happened, it knocked the wind out of him.
Sorry is not going to take it back. And no monies, nothing in the world could replace that young man. And it's just sad. It's sad. A young man, bright future, been taken away from him, and over a ride or amusement park.
That father says the pain he's feeling is never going to go away.
The company behind the Orlando Freefall at Icon Park says it's the tallest freestanding drop tower in the world at 430 feet tall. It can hold 30 riders at once. When they get to the top of the tower, riders are tilted forward 30 degrees toward the ground. Then they free fall nearly 400 feet, reaching speeds of 75 miles per hour. Now take a look at this. This is video from the day the ride opened. This was in late December. You can see employees there were going around to each rider and tugging on the harness to make sure the riders were locked in before they were hoisted into the air. Rides like this are subjected to inspections by the State Department of Agriculture. They're required to have a certificate of insurance and an annual affidavit of compliance and testing performed by a professional engineer or qualified inspector.
And that ride would have had to been inspected before it opened in December, but since it's only been open for a few months, it wasn't yet due for any re-inspections. Channel 9 investigative reporter Christopher Heath obtained the U.S. and international patents for the ride and continues our team coverage with more details about the attraction.
The thing we are looking for is information about the seats. In the United States, there are 3 of these large 400-foot drop towers, 2 built by a company out of Liechtenstein. Both of these have a belt that connects the shoulder restraint to the seat, but the one in Orlando was built by an Austrian company, and it has no such belt. The ride that claimed a teen's life in Orlando had only been in operation for a few months. The state was required to inspect it before opening. Today, crews were inspecting the ride again, testing the seats. You can see here men walking from chair to chair, checking the shoulder restraints. State law requires daily inspections, which spokesman John Stein says the company was doing.
We work with the Florida Department of Agriculture. They do their inspections. We do a daily inspection on our rides before we open.
In documents released to Eyewitness News from the Florida Department of Agriculture, you can see here the ride was inspected on Monday, December the 20th. That's less than 4 months ago. It passed with state inspection specialist Mark Gonzalez signing off on the ride. As for the ride itself, the manufacturer is a company called Funtime. The Austrian company has a series of U.S. and international patents for the ride. Most that we found deal with the tower with just one mention of seats or harnesses, but no specifics. As for how the harness failed or if it was never secured properly in the first place, that will be determined by a series of inspections across several levels of the government.
It is ongoing, and we are working with Orange County Sheriff's Office as well as other agencies that have yet to be engaged but will be engaged.
Christopher Heath, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
This young man's tragic death has drawn attention from all over, and the rides being closed at Icon Park also, that has people talking as well. Channel 9's Nick Papantonis continues our live team coverage at Icon Park. And Nick, people weren't necessarily there to see it, but everyone you've talked with has been affected in some way.
Yeah, there's been a steady stream of people here at Icon Park looking up toward the sky, trying to picture their friends or family members or children even riding this ride in that teenager's place. There's even been a memorial that started here with people laying flowers down at the base of the ride honoring the teen who died. This is about the time of the day where people start heading out to eat and have fun in this district. Some of the tourists told me not everyone knows just what happened yet. We've been getting a lot of questions just standing here. But the news spread pretty quickly last night. People say there's been an uneasiness up and down the road. Everyone silently saying to themselves, this could have been me.
I can't imagine that kind of thing happening right in front of me, you know? It's like a regular night, a regular spring break night.
I got a kid, and she's 11. She loves stuff like that, but I don't think she's gonna be getting on these no more.
This is the second drop ride death in the United States since this fall. A 6-year-old died out in Colorado back in September after she wasn't properly restrained inside the ride. However, amusement park rides have been increasingly rare since the turn of the century, falling quite a bit in amount compared to how many people ride these rides. We're going to be taking a look at that in depth tonight on WFTV Tonight at 11. Live in Orange County, Nick Papantonis, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We're going to continue digging into what happened last night at Icon Park. We'll have any new developments on air and online at WFTV.com.